Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our online Sunday services at First Unitarian Church of St. Louis. My name is Adam Lunter. My pronouns are he, him, and his, and it's wonderful to see all of you here this morning. And I especially want to welcome any visitors or newcomers. If you are new to the congregation, we invite you to please fill out a newcomer form, which is found at the link in the chat window. In the chat, you can also find a few other useful links, including today's order of service, our YouTube channel where our service recordings are posted, and information about our religious education program for families with children. Automated closed captioning is available for those who would find it helpful, and it can be accessed by clicking on the closed caption button at the bottom of your screen and then show subtitle. It's a tongue twister. One announcement this morning. This morning is our monthly newcomer chat after the service. So if you are new to First Unitarian, please join us afterwards for an informal chat with Reverend Kim and volunteers from the membership committee. We also invite you to check your order of service and the e-news for the two-part membership class, which will be starting this week. Okay, now if you would please turn off your webcams and return to speaker view. Thank you very much. Welcome to this religious community where we affirm the dignity and freedom of all who enter. Here, we seek to live together in relationship and respect so that we may embrace and celebrate our differences. Our religious values invite us to a shared journey of truth and meaning. Sincerity and connection guide our religious community and call us into a deeper association with ourselves and our world. Welcome. We're glad you're part of our community this morning. And now, for opening music, we'd like to ask you to please enjoy O Mensch, bewein dein Sünde groß, performed by Earl Naylor, our organist.
Good morning. I am the Reverend Kim Mason, she, her, hers, and I serve this congregation as your minister. It is good to be with you this morning. Our theme of the month for March is commitment, which is a handy theme to have during our Canvas month. I want to share a special thank you to all the volunteers who committed to hand delivering this year's pledge packets, along with a special treat, a chalice-shaped cookie. If you haven't gotten yours yet, it may still be delivered this afternoon. In fact, I've seen some of those comments in the chat. If you live in an apartment, we were likely unable to access your secured building. You can make arrangements with Reverend Kim to get your Canvas cookies another time. Just shoot me an email. As it is Canvas, I am pleased to announce that on this weekend of Canvas, we begin with $84,580 in pledges already. Whoop, whoop. Thank you to our board and council members and other early pledgers who got us off to a great start. Now, I invite you into worship with these words by the Reverend Peter Friedrichs. Enriched by our differences and joined together in our search for meaning, we covenant with ourselves and each other to seek truth in the spirit of love, to strive for justice, and to serve others with a joyful heart. Come, let us worship together. Please join in singing our Canvas hymn, Gather the Spirit.
As we light our chalice this morning, both here on the screen and also perhaps the ones we have in our respective homes, I invite you to consider these words from Dr. Maya Angelou. When we seek for connection, we restore the world to wholeness. Our seemingly separate lives become meaningful as we discover how truly necessary we are to each other. God doesn't intend for you to handle all the pain and stress in your life by yourself. We were wired for each other. We need each other.
In the month of Canvas, it is our tradition to invite members of the congregation to share an affirmation. Today's affirmation will be given by board member Jean Rubin.
Hi, everyone, and good morning. I can hear you saying good morning virtually. I want to thank Sue Ashwell and Kay Dusenberry and the Canvas Committee for inviting me to give this affirmation. I want to start with my first visit. I was 36, half a lifetime ago, since I am now 71. Dan, our son, was 4, and Beth, our daughter, had recently been born a bit early and a bit shy of 3 pounds. She was healthy, and for a while we called her Biddy Beth. Some of you still around may remember Dan and Beth as they grew up in our church. We wanted the kids to grow up with a religious identity, and I wanted to expand my own understanding of simple questions like the meaning of life. I wandered into First Church in 1986 on the day of the Dr. Martin Luther King service. There was Earl Hope delivering a magnificent sermon. There was a simple and beautiful and non-denominational mural. I read about the history of the church and was excited to learn that William Greenleaf Eliot founded Eliot Seminary that was soon renamed Washington University, which is my professional home. Dottie and I joined the church later that year. At that time, what did I think about pledging? Such a deal. You get childcare, you get an educational program for the kids, you have great sermons, nice people, and at that time, I believed the donuts were free. I was naive about the meaning of a church, but I grew over time. There are experiences that strongly influenced me. A few examples. Earl's attitude in helping my friends. A family that had come to church but hadn't yet joined experienced the death of a young child. I called Earl for them. I think he was in his writing a sermon mode. His response, however, was spontaneous and pure. I can be of help. I will call them immediately. He did, and he was. Another example, the growth of our kids regarding attitudes of total acceptance and open-mindedness. Church, together with attending New City Public Schools, helped our kids grow into amazing adults. I have grown throughout my stay at the church. 2 examples, an appreciation of the LGBTQ+ community and a better understanding of the historically deeper issues underlying the Black Lives Matters movement. I also grew by occasionally volunteering. A little volunteering at various times is fine. One gains an appreciation of what I call the beautiful complexity of a church family. If you haven't volunteered, dip your toe in the water. Soon it will feel amazingly refreshing. So pledging then became a good value, but also a way to support a community doing important work and helping each other grow. And now about the future. I am now on the board and I'm witnessing the amazing momentum and vitality of the church. We have a caring and wonderful community. We have a bright, energetic, creative, and loving minister. We are moving in exciting directions. So now I view pledging not only as a great value, not only as a wonderful way to support a community doing important work, but also as an investment in our future community. Thanks for listening, and now we will zoom back to our regular scheduled program.
Hi, my name is Lily Rappaport, the Interim Director of Religious Education. Have you ever considered the importance of being in community? Community is where we find comfort and care, where we grow and learn with one another. It's about sharing experiences, developing relationships, working toward a common goal, and supporting one another in our faith journeys. Today's story is about a community that goes on a journey to find a leader and about the valuable lessons that they learn about leadership and about themselves along the way. The Journey of the Birds. Inspired by the ancient epic poem, The Conference of the Birds by the Persian Sufi Muslim writer Fariduddin Attar. Once upon a time, all the birds in the land decided they needed a leader for their community. A leader, they thought, would make their community stronger. Representatives of all the bird species gathered to discuss finding a leader. A leader will tell us the right things to do, said the robin. Our leader must be wise, said the owl. A leader must believe we each are important, big and small, said the sparrow. I want the leader to be caring, like a friend, said the dove. Yes, the leader help us share and get along better, said the jay. The leader must make us feel safe, said the hawk. I know where you could find such a leader, said the hoopoe bird. It is the sea morgue, and it lives far from here. The birds were very excited. They said they were willing to go anywhere to find such a leader. It might be dangerous, said the hoopoe. A few birds looked troubled, but all the birds voted to go find the sea morgue. The hoopoe took off and all the birds followed. They flew at night. They flew in sunshine. Days and days passed. Some birds got tired and left the group. Other birds were filled with doubt. How did they know the sea morgue really existed? Only the hoopoe had ever heard of this bird. Some of the doubters dropped out, but others kept flying. One valley was filled with fiery mountains. All the birds were afraid. I'm too small to make it over that mountain, lamented the sparrow. Let's do it together. No, keep flying. We can make it together. We will help you. And they did. The strong flyers helped the weaker flyers. The birds with good vision helped find food for the group. Along the journey, the birds learned how to better respect, share, and care for each other. It seemed that every bird had something special and unique to offer that made the journey easier. Finally, the hoopoe announced, "We are here!" The other birds looked around in anticipation. "Where is the sea morgue? We don't see it," they cried. "Come, it is over here," said the hoopoe. The birds flew next to the hoopoe. Quietly standing together, they looked in the water, and saw their own reflections. Then they understood. The sea morgue was not another bird. The sea morgue was all of them, and all of them were the sea morgue. They remembered that each of them had something good and strong and special inside of them, and that each bird had gifts to bring to the community. They were all that was needed to keep the community strong. They knew now that together they could do anything.
That was fantastic. Together, we can do anything. We commit to many things in the course of a lifetime, to our friends, to our job, to a partner, to a community. We commit to this congregation as well. And one of the ways that we express that commitment is by sharing joys and concerns each week. This week, we send hope for speedy recovery to Karen Segrist, who suffered a fall at home. As we pause in a moment of quiet reflection, I invite you to type any sorrows or joys you are experiencing into the group chat box. For a friend with a heart condition. Worry for people involved in a shooting close to a home downtown. Appreciation for 3 of the household members being vaccinated. Worry for friends whose situation is concerning and heartbreaking. Well wishes for Karen. Worry for Roy, experiencing a slow road to mobility following a fall. We hold these sorrows with tenderness and compassion. May they be lighter because they are shared. As a community, we also share our joys with one another. I invite you to type any joys you wish to share into the group chat box. Joy at a first COVID shot. Gratitude for cookies delivered to someone's door. More appreciation for cookies. Appreciation for the UU Hysterical Society. Gratitude for a new refrigerator. More joy for cookies. Joy at seeing plants starting to come up. Happy birthday to Kim Perry. Setting up a new garden bed. Joy of dog sitting. A great granddaughter was born yesterday. A wife's birthday yesterday. And spring cleaning in the yard. Gratitude for sunshine and more gardening. We hold these joys with gladness and celebration. May they be magnified because they are shared. With many joys and sorrows remaining unspoken in our hearts and minds, please join me in a spirit of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life and love, holy within and among us, we give thanks for this community. In this time of pandemic, we needed one another and we showed up. In this time of grief, we grieved together. And in moments of joy, we celebrated together. In times of struggle, we worked together. We cared for one another. Spirit of life and love, great mystery. We need one another. We need one another that we might grow, that we might connect, that we might be transformed. We are seeking that which brings meaning, and we find it in this community. Spirit of life and love, holy community, may there always be someone who shows up when we are in need, and may we commit to showing up when others are in need. May it be so. Amen, and blessed be.
Our first reading is from George E. Odell, entitled, We Need One Another. We need one another when we mourn and would be comforted. We need one another when we are in trouble and afraid. We need one another when we are in despair, in temptation, and need to be recalled to our best selves again. We need one another when we would accomplish some great purpose and cannot do it alone. We need one another in the hour of defeat, when, with encouragement, we might endure and stand again. We need one another when we come to die and would have gentle hands prepare us for the journey. All our lives we are in need, and others are in need of us.
The mission of the First Unitarian Church of St. Louis is to work for love, decency, tolerance, and justice. One of the ways we do that is by sharing the plate. This morning, all non-pledge contributions will be donated to the Robert Ford Haitian School and Orphanage. The Robert Ford Haitian Orphanage and School Foundation serves the population of Grisons-Gardez, Haiti. Education is the key to emerging from poverty in Haiti, and this organization takes a holistic approach. Education, skill development, clean water, food, and healthcare for all ages. Check the order of service for more details about this deserving program. We are not passing a physical plate, but there are many ways to donate, including by mail, online, or by text. These are uncertain times. Please give as you can.
Speak for me.
What a beautiful and bittersweet moment. Gather the spirit, harvest the power. Our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this hour. Our trials in this light appear all the same. Former UUA President John Buren said, "To be human is to be religious. To be religious is to make connections. To lead a meaningful life among the many competing forces of the 21st century, each of us needs support in making meaningful reconnections to the best in our global heritage, the best in others, and the best in ourselves. As human beings, we want to be part of something. We want to claim a sense of belonging and connection, to know that we are not alone." Do you remember the first time you attended a service at a UU congregation? It may have been this one. It may have been another one in another city. Maybe you started attending at such a young age you have no memory of not attending a UU congregation. However, it happened at some point you made a decision to keep coming. I remember walking into the Unitarian Universalist Church of Augusta, Georgia, the Sunday after New Year's, January 2000. I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect, but I'd brought a friend and we quickly found our seats. The service wasn't really any different than that of the Methodist services I attended as a child. And then the speaker began, and he preached about the Jeffersonian Bible. The Jeffersonian Bible is sometimes described as the good parts version of the Bible, edited to include all the love and none of the hellfire and damnation. I had never heard of the Jeffersonian Bible, and the idea that you could edit the Bible was a new one to me. I was amazed. This was a church where you could question what should and should not be in the Bible. And if that was up for discussion, what else could we talk about? I was hooked. These were clearly my people, and I had found the community I wanted to companion me on my spiritual journey. Now I know that Canvas Sunday is supposed to be the sermon on the amount, but I'd like, rather than discussing what to give, to talk about the commitments and connections we make that make us want to give. We seek spiritual communities to help us make meaning of the world around us, to provide tools for reflection and for action. Yet the reason we stay in a faith community, the reason we commit to a religious community, is because of the connections we have made. The 2001 UUA Commission on Appraisal report, Belonging, said, "Making connections is the essence of the religious experience. The connections that people seek when looking for a religious home are both internal and external. While becoming and connected in a spiritual network within the congregation is essential, committed membership also means getting connected to the larger community. We hear that in our Canvas hymn. Gather the spirit of heart and mind. Seeds for the sowing are laid in store. Nurtured in love and conscience refined, with body and spirit united once more. I look back on my first congregation with fondness. My time there planted so many seeds, including that first nagging idea that I might go to seminary and become a minister. Yet more than that, I found a faith community that allowed me to both explore my beliefs and nurture my body and spirit. In the subsequent years and congregations I have attended and worked for, I have watched time and again the ways that we bring our full and authentic selves into the welcoming embrace of community. That initial welcome plants seeds that come to fruition quickly when people join and attend, and slowly as people establish relationships and learn how to show up for one another. Living in DC and going through a divorce, it was my covenant group that showed up for me. They made sure I had places to spend holidays. They took me out to eat and even helped me move. They cared for me at a time when caring for myself felt very hard. I see these same things happening right here in this congregation, whether it's visiting people socially distant in backyards, making sure people have groceries while in COVID quarantine, or delivering iPads so people can participate in virtual church. We are showing up even during the pandemic. The seeds that are nurtured are seeds of community, and the harvest is love. And it's also love that called me into greater involvement in my community and in social justice. It began with service to the congregation. My covenant group's annual service project was running a used book sale for the congregation. Then, as I got more involved in congregational life, I attended protests with my congregation against the war in Afghanistan and marched for women's reproductive rights. My congregation hosted an anti-racism training and I went. Learning with members of my church, I could see how people I knew were impacted by the many faces of oppression. I was learning about my spiritual life, and it was deeply interconnected with the actions I took outside of and with my church. In Belonging, the Commission on Appraisal found that a healthy congregation will understand its mission to be outward-looking as well as internally focused. The report tells how the membership committee of a large and well-established Unitarian Universalist congregation identified the primary reasons why people stay with their congregation. 1, to be connected to a worshiping community. 2, to feel spiritually grounded. 3, the congregation's strength in living out its principles and providing opportunities to do social justice in a structured way. And 4, religious growth and learning. I saw these very same things repeated in the values survey that we took as a congregation in January as part of the mission statement redevelopment. The top 3 values for the church were worship, community, and social justice. Some things are universal.
Second reading this morning is by the Reverend Elizabeth Tarbox. And so I say, ours is a story of faith and hope and love. I say it is our need for one another that binds us together, that brings us laughing and limping into relationships and keeps us at it when we might otherwise despair at the fix we are in. I say, it is the holy we need, the eternal beyond comprehension. And the one place we can find it is here, working and worshiping together. And I say that there is a transcendent value worthy of our loyalty upon which we may set our hearts, and its divine manifestation is love.
Thank you, Adam. Gather the Spirit growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun. Winter to spring and summer to fall, the chorus of life resounding as one. Each of us at some point made or will make a commitment to this congregation, to its people, and to its mission. And each of us has at some point been transformed by this church. We think the commitment is made when we sign the book, when we officially become members. Yet in reality, we make our commitment over and over again. We are changed again and again. We make our commitment when we volunteer. We make our commitment when we show up for each other. And we make our commitment when we pledge a financial contribution to the church. We are moved and changed through each act of commitment, each moment of connection, each space offered for the holy. The possibility of growth and change, of transformation, is the real basis for participation in a religious community, reports the Commission on Appraisal. They write, "We have all experienced losses and disappointments, pain and grief. We have been broken by life and need healing. The closest that contemporary Unitarian Universalism may come to a concept of salvation is to offer opportunities for growth and transformation, for becoming more whole." In each reading this morning, including our story, echoed the theme, we need one another. If this pandemic has shown us anything, it has shown us just how interconnected we are, how much we need and are transformed by one another. Each of us has something good and strong and special inside, and each of us brings gifts to the community. In these moments of connection, we create space for wholeness. As a congregation, I am proud to say that the First Unitarian Church of St. Louis has doubled down on its commitment to each other and to its neighbors. The membership committee called everyone in the church directory just to check on them. We showed up for Black Lives Matter every Saturday from Memorial Day weekend to the November election. And we only stopped because the city banned gatherings of more than 10 people. And just this week, we are establishing a little free pantry in our church parking lot as a way to help out our neighbors while access to resources is limited during the pandemic. Watch for a new e-blast about that. We commit, and we recommit, just as we show up again and again for our people, for this community, and for this faith, and we are transformed because of it. The chorus of Gather the Spirit says, gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion, and strength, gather to celebrate once again. We are gathering online right now, but it is my sincere hope that we will be gathering in person sometime not too distant from now. As you spend these next few weeks considering how much you will commit financially to the church this year, I simply want to express my profound appreciation for the ways that you commit over and over again, and my deep gratitude at being able to be your minister. Please join in our closing hymn, a song about committing to this faith, the fire of commitment.
From the light of days remember, burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living rings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness of the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion need to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and the future can begin.
That is one of my favorite hymns. Our closing words come from the Reverend Nancy Reed McKee. Our community knows no boundaries. We are not confined by the physical limits of walls, or for that matter, of what often binds us, restricts us, holds us back. We are freer than we know when we release ourselves and each other from expectations of what is needed for true community. We are here together in this space. I see you. I hear you. I love you. Go in peace. Amen. And blessed be.